All right, then. So now it's a time to push our user into our Firestore collection first. Then we need to push the user to our Redux store as well. So what I need to do is, once this successfully, the place where we are getting the data over here, this is the place where we are getting the data, right? Once you get the data over there, now what we need to do is we have to push that user into our what is that? We have to push that user into our Firestore collections, right? So to do that, so basically what we have is, go to your documentation and go to your what is that? Go to the build, click the Firebase and go to the, oh god, come on, click here and go to the docs one more time. Yes, so here there you can find, click the build and you can find the Firestore. And in the Firestore, you can able to see there is an option called add and manage data. So click add data. So basically for add data, we have two sets of method. One is setDoc and another one is where is that? Here. One is setDoc and another one is addDoc. addDoc. Where it is? setDoc. Here it is. So basically what's the difference between the setDoc and the addDoc is, because when you're using setDoc, you need to specify your ID by yourself for the document. If you're using addDoc, you don't have to worry about the ID of the document, because basically that ID will be automatically generated by the Firestore itself. In this case, we're going to use the setDoc method only. For the setDoc, you need to supply the document reference. Along with that, you need to send your data, right? You can see it's clearly mentioned like this way. All right, so whenever you're learning the technologies, as I already recommended all the students, just go through the documentation. If you're using any technology for very first time, right, go through this documentation, which is really user friendly. Okay, so now over here we have the data over here. So what I need to do, I'm just going to say setDoc. Basically that setDoc method is coming from your Firestore. Import it, open it. Okay, so then what we need to do is, okay, so over here setDoc, then I need to open the doc that is also coming from your Firestore reference. So open it. For the doc, you need to supply your Firestore object, which is nothing but your DB, which is we exported from the Firestore firebase.config.js. Then I need to give the collection name, which is nothing but users. Then I need to give the ID. So basically I'm just going to use the user credential .uid. I'm going to use that ID as the document ID. Then comma, I need to send the user data, right? So what I'm going to do is, if I do have the user credential, of course, then I will have the provider data, and I'm going to send that array first index. That will returns me dot then object. If I do get that, if everything is successfully inserted successfully, what I need to do is, I need to dispatch these actions to the state, our Redux store, which we haven't created. So we have to create that, right? So once everything is successfully done, now what I need to do is, I need to make sure, because this is the place where we are going to push the Redux, dispatch the action to store, right? Then, because since this unsubscribe is constantly being running, so we need to make sure, we need to clean up this listener event. So what I need to do is, otherwise this will constantly repeat this same stuff. The user effect will constantly render again and again and again. So to avoid that, we need to clean up this listener event. So this is the cleanup way to clean up the listener event. So how we can clean up the listener event? So return unsubscribe. That's it. As simple as that. Return unsubscribe method over here. Basically return a callback method. Then that's it. All right. So now this should be re-rendered. And if you go here, go to the Firestore database, you should be able to see your users collection. If everything is working fine, here we go. And you should be able to see that user ID. Here we go. And you should be able to see that record, that detail which we saved, right? It's saved successfully. Cool. How cool is that? So now I have that data object over here. So what I need to do is, I need to bring that loading animation just like over here, right? So I need to bring the loading animation. Whenever I refresh it, I need to bring this loader animation. Then by the mean it's refreshing, we need to push that data to the Redux store. Then from there we need to fetch it. Then we need to display it over here. All right, that's what we are about to do next. So first what we need to do is we need to create a state for that to monitor the loading state. So over here, use state snippet is loading. So by default, I'm just going to keep it as true. So over here, let me cut it out completely. And I'm going to create a React fragments. Inside this React fragments, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say is loading. If it is true, display at division. I'm just going to say display this div. If it is not, display this. Save these changes. By default, it's going to throw an error. Of course, we haven't imported this use state, so let's import it. Now you will not see anything because we simply added this division over here, right? So what we need to do is all we have to clear this and go here, and I'm just going to copy, or I'm going to say everything should be comes in the center of the screen, right? So class name, so width is going to be screen, height is going to be screen, flex, item center, justify center. It's taking why it's taking so long. Justify center. All right. So then overflow, everything should be hidden and everything should be comes in the center of the screen. So save these changes. All right. So now still you got the data because it is refreshed. That's the reason you got that data over there. So now what we need to do is, so I'm going to get that spinner animation by using, so we are going to use the spinner animation from by this package. So we are going to use this React loader spinner. This is the one. So click it. So that will take you to the official documentation where you can able to use their React loader spinner. So click this spinners, that will take you to the list of spinner objects over here. In this case, there are lots and lots of free loader animations. In this case, I'm just going to use this triangle animation, right? So if you have time, please go here and go through the different types of animation. I love this, but it's not really suitable for this example. So please take your time and go through these different types of animations over here, right? In this case, first we need to add this animation. So let's go to open the terminal and let's say yarn add React loader spinner and add this package. Make sure that is added successfully in your all right, so it's added successfully. So then what we need to do is let's get back. Okay, this is the place where we are loading it, right? So here I need to copy the triangle stuff. I need to copy this triangle completely. So copy this triangle completely from here, right? So I'm just going to use the same color pattern only. I'm not going to use anything else. I'm just going to use the same color pattern, which is really nice and really suitable for our example. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder called in the components called spinner. I think we have, yes, spinner.jsx rafce, and here I'm just going to paste it. And I'm going to bring this triangle from our React loader spinner. So save these changes and let's go to the index.js and let's copy and paste it and import that spinner over here and copy this name and use it over here as well. Save these changes, close the spinner, and let's go to the app.js. And yep, this is the place where we are getting the loader object, right? This is the place. So here I need to bring that spinner object. So spinner, which is coming from components /components. Yes, so it's loader. Now if I save these changes, this is supposed to display that loader option over here, but it's not showing up. Why? Refresh this. Here we go. So now you have that loader animation over here. It's displaying, but it needs to be closed, right? So what happened is once this loading is done, that means everything is done, that the cleanup process is done and everything. So what I need to do is all I have to do is to stop this, right? So this is the place